Hello, my name is Jazz Stokes. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm pleased to be speaking to you on the ancestral lands of the Lower Tanana Dene people. And today I am doing a video that I have titled Discovering the Past Resurfacing for my Intro to LGBTQ Class. So our project for the class was to take a look inside of our book, choose a chapter or a particular section of the book that stood out to us, and basically form a project around it. And this is my project. What I decided to choose was the literature section because as I was reading and flipping through, I discovered the name of one of my favorite authors while I was growing up. That was super influential for me. But you know what? I should probably have a little bit of a discussion about me and who I am, where I'm from, before I get into the rest of the story. So I, had a chat.
Hello, I'm Jazz.
Point. My name
Jazz
was
Stokes.
not the same.
Pronouns they, them. Formerly known as Jasmine, which we're gonna get into. And I think it's something I'm still trying to figure out how you're supposed to talk about your old name when you don't have vehement feelings against it. And then with it being so close to the name that is my legal name now, there's a lot of me feeling as though people trivialize it because it's so close to...
So I guess that's a little bit of backstory.
Anyway.
And here is a short little clip of a poem that I wrote, kind of getting into the subject of, well, where I am from, in, I guess, the context of maybe having a bit of a troubled childhood.
So, where I am from. The best part of not knowing where you come from is feeling like you could be from anywhere, everywhere. You can pretend all you want. Just don't turn around and look it in the face. The best part of not knowing who you come from is realizing at some point someone took control of the family line and you don't even know your grandmother's maiden name. The best part of not knowing where you come from is worrying that you've checked the wrong boxes or the culture you're looking for is hidden in graves. The best part of not knowing who you come from is shunting the generational trauma because ignorance is, in fact, bliss. Until you ask, and you open, and you dig, and you listen, and you cringe.
Okay, so back to the main project in the storyline. We have this book that is a first for transgender literature that I just didn't know also happened to be my favorite author. Well, okay, we won't say favorite author because I did love quite a few authors. However, this one wrote a book that was extremely influential to... Okay, yes, you're right. Let's go back because we're talking about one book and we should mention this one here. Echo. Echo was... I think we could just go ahead and read part of the pages where I'm talking about how much I love this book. And this is from, what is it? 2003? 2000... Yeah, so anyway, that was a long time ago. And so maybe they had all been her angels in a way, delivering her to the next place, Maybe any love we ever have is an angel in whatever form. That's from page 212. But I don't read the other part. And the next one is, and here I am poised above with my arms spread flying, and there are halos of light spinning out of us. And yes, this is me becoming wholly human in my own self. Page 215. And then I go on to talk about how when I turn the next page over, I see my name at the end of the acknowledgments list, and am just kind of a little bit spooked out, because after reading the book, I was like it resonated quite a bit with me, and to incidentally end up reading the acknowledgments page from the author and seeing your name was kind of wild. And really the language of the book, the style that Francesca Lia Block writes in, it is something that I think I've carried with me inside of my work. Some of my earlier poetry definitely has a lot of that tone to it. And it's been super influential. And I went on to read quite a few other of her books, and she's got quite a bit of them. And the other thing that ended up happening was I actually sent Francesca Lia Block a card collage talking with her and thanking her for the book that she'd written and how it had been this very helpful thing for me at a time when I probably needed a little bit more help than I was actually getting. And she responded. She sent me a postcard back, and so that's one of the reasons why I did this project, is because there is this direct interaction that's happened. That's really been a great thing to have, is to have been able to thank someone directly for being an influence. But let's get back to Girl Goddess number 9. Yeah? Well, first, let's get a little bit into the relevance of all of this, right? Why am I even doing this project? Why was this book so influential? I think a lot of it is that I am very queer. Yeah. I'm just like a very queer person. And that's funny, actually, reading the inner cover for Girl Goddess number 9. There's quite a few things inside of the bit there. Best girlfriends, lovers, gay and straight, baby goddesses, singing goddesses, dancing goddesses, writing goddesses. And yeah. So, young adult me, who was basically brought up in a very conservative religious household, connected quite a bit with, these books that Francesca Lia Block was writing. And so this is the book that is mentioned inside of our intro to LGBTQ Class book. I said book 5 times there. I'm so sorry for that. And first taking a look at it, I got a little tickled. The cover of it, the colors for the lettering are the trans flag colors, and I thought that was interesting. I was like, well, should I write another postcard and mention that? See what's going on there. But yeah, I got the book, got a hold of the book, and started to take a look at it, and I didn't go immediately to the story that is mentioned. I kind of reviewed some of the ones before because, as I said, I had read this book before. And so I started to read the story in there called Blue, and I won't get into everything that kind of goes on in this book. I've got a couple of clips, though. But there's a lot of intersex overtones, polyamorous, like bi or pansexual, maybe. Like in the roots of it. And it's just tremendous to read it. And then also remembering that I've already read it before and that it wasn't this thing that felt like a big deal. And not in a way where, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It didn't seem unusual. The information that I was getting from these books and the stuff that they were talking about all just made sense to me inherently. I didn't quite completely figure it out until more recently, but it's just really interesting to know that I had that kind of a reaction. And getting further into the book and taking a look at the actual story that it, all of the huzzahs about Dragons in Manhattan. It's a great story, really. It's a great story about a kid who goes on a journey to try and figure out their history. And it kind of inspires me to try and do what I'm kind of trying to do, which is figure out a little bit of my ancestry and my history. And it is a very beautiful story, and I think that it is very nice that to have a connection to something that was probably very influential and very confirming, maybe not validating, I think it's a better word, for individuals that read it, perhaps. And at the time for me when I read it, I think I was just so stuck still inside of the don't want to say brainwashing, that I just really didn't realize what it was that I was reading and in my own connection to it. But I am glad to be where I am now and to have had this experience. And I wanted to sign off with a quick poem, and I'm hoping that this video has been enjoyed and that it is not too tremendously long. I think it should end up being close to about 10 to 15 minutes. Anyway, as I said, hope you enjoy, and thanks for listening.
Without further chatting, yes, I'll go ahead and read this poem, which is called Bliss, as I've said about 1 million times. But everything was beautiful, and nothing hurt, and it was terrifying for many moments in retrospect, but the aspiration still held. I could become, I could breathe in my own skin. They'll take the pieces left over and grow new things and ideas. I'll be the seed, so I need to manifest all that desire, that pure, inexplicable pleasure of life in every opportunity, in a world where it feels like everything is ugly and it always hurts. Can we take a moment, travel through time, the future, past and present, find the best possible outcome, even though it's never what you think?